Aloha from the big island of Hawaii. I'm Coach Vici Francoies from Christ Visions Ministry today with part 5 of Change Your Habits, Change Your Life. Today, we're going to take a look at opportunities. Opportunities are everywhere, and we just need to slow down, stay focused, and take a look. Ephesians 5:16 tells us to make the most out of every opportunity in these evil days. God-given opportunities knock at our door in different forms and come from different directions than we would ever expect. That is one of the hidden tricks of opportunity. It comes to us from nowhere, and it's often disguised as defeat, and it often goes unrecognized because of this very disguise. As Henry J. Kaiser says, problems are only opportunities in work clothes. Thomas Edison invented the Edison dictating machine. His representatives had a hard time generating enthusiasm for the thing. They felt like it would be too much effort to develop a market for it. This opportunity was hidden in a weird-looking machine until a Mr. Barnes saw the opportunity. He was sure that he could sell this. Edison agreed to give him a chance, and Barnes sold so many of the machines that Edison actually gave him a contract to distribute them. As a result, Barnes became rich. He proved that it could happen. He grabbed an opportunity and he fulfilled its potential. I believe the biggest cause of failure is quitting before the opportunity has a chance to take hold. Don't quit just because someone tells you it can't be done. There are always those dream destroyers out there who want to knock you down. They can really fog your vision. You need a clear vision and a strong sense of purpose in order to recognize good opportunities. And God gave us the ability to recognize them and achieve success. Success occurs when we take opportunities. Failures happen when we miss them. Ann Landers says opportunities are usually disguised as hard work, so most people don't recognize them. Now, it's been said that whatever the mind can conceive can be achieved. We need to make use of our opportunities. Now, Moses saw the invisible, but he chose the imperishable, and he did the impossible. Don't miss out on opportunities just because they don't seem to be practical to you. You need clear vision, a strong sense of purpose, and determination in order to really recognize opportunities. Pray about opportunities. Once you take an opportunity, don't let it go when it gets hard to handle. You need to be ready to serve. God has given each of us an earthly vessel, our bodies, and we need to keep as healthy as we can so that we're ready to serve in whatever area God has for us. 2 Corinthians 4:7 says, "But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us." And we are told to keep it clean and holy for God's purposes. Look in 1 Corinthians 6:19. It says, "What? Know you not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you, which ye have of God, and you are not your own?" One way to honor God is the way we maintain a healthy diet. There are so many different diets being advertised today that promote and promise to get you healthy. It gets confusing on which one to believe. And today, we're going to talk about two of them. I'll start by giving you a brief overview of both before we get into the first one. One will be from a biblical point of view, and the other about a diet that's based on your blood type. Then I'll give you some meal plans. One of these help you look and feel better by losing weight and increasing energy and helping to save time and money. If you plan ahead, you will learn food choices for healthier hair, healthy weight, more energy, and better focus. Some of today's healthiest known foods were part of the biblical diet. These include olives and olive oil, pomegranates, grapes, goat milk, raw honey, lamb, and bitter herbs. The Bible also contains a few accounts of people eating highly unusual and supernatural foods. This complete grocery list consists of spices and fruits and vegetables, seeds, grains, fish, fowls, meats, and other strange foods and drinks mentioned in the Bible. They range in taste and aroma from sweet to savory to pungent. References to the passages are going to be provided for each of the Bible foods that we talk about. And then there's a diet called the blood type diet. You might wonder, could eating a diet based on your blood type, like O, A, B, or AB, really help you trim down and get healthier? Well, that's behind the idea of the blood type diet that was created by the neuropath Peter J. D'Adamo. D'Adamo claims that the foods you eat react chemically with your blood type. And if you follow a diet designed for your blood type, your body will digest food more efficiently, you'll lose weight, and have more energy to help prevent diseases. First, let's take a deeper look at the biblical diet. I have listed on each of the slides again for you some of the biblical locations of the foods that we're going to be going over, if you'd like to jot them down. The first section we'll be going over is seasonings, spices, and herbs. The way these were consumed as Bible foods in the Bible, they were used to flavor breads, cakes, meats, soups, stews, and were taken as digestive aids. Coriander, the seed of cilantro, is known today to be a powerful antioxidant with natural cleansing qualities. Now here's a list of some of the spices and herbs from the Bible. Anise is listed in Matthew. Coriander is in Exodus and Numbers. Cinnamon in Exodus and Revelation. Cumin in Isaiah and Matthew. Dill is in Matthew. Garlic is in Numbers. Mint is in Matthew and Luke. Mustard is in Matthew. Rue is in Luke. And salt is mentioned in Ezra and Job. Fruits and nuts are next. People of the Bible ate many of today's most nutritious superfoods in this grouping of fruits and nuts. Pomegranates, for example, are believed to have highly beneficial anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and anti-tumor properties. Let's look at where the Bible talks about fruits and nuts. Apples are mentioned in the Song of Solomon's, almonds in Genesis and Numbers, dates in 2 Samuel and 1 Chronicles, figs in Nehemiah and Jeremiah, grapes in Leviticus and Deuteronomy, melons in Numbers and Isaiah. Olives are in Isaiah and Micah. Pistachio nuts is in Genesis, and pomegranates in Numbers and Deuteronomy. Then we have raisins in Numbers and 2 Samuel, and sycamore fruit in Psalms and Amos. That brings us to vegetables and legumes. God provided vegetables and legumes packed with nutrients and fiber and protein to power the people of the Bible. In Babylon, Daniel and his friends observed a diet of only vegetables in Daniel 1:12. He says, "Please test us for 10 days on a diet of vegetables and water." Let's look at the Bible examples of where vegetables and legumes are mentioned. Beans are in 2 Samuel and Ezekiel. Cucumbers are in Numbers. Gourds are in 2 Kings. Leeks are in Numbers. Lentils are in Genesis, 2 Samuel, and Ezekiel, and we see onions in Numbers. This brings us to grains. Healthy grains were a primary staple in Bible times. Grains were some of the easiest natural foods to keep preserved for years. Now the Bible talks about grains in these. Barley was in Deuteronomy and Ezekiel. Bread was in Genesis, 2 Samuel, and Mark. Corn was in Matthew and refers to grain, such as wheat or barley. Flour was in 2 Samuel and 1 Kings. Millet was Ezekiel. Spelt was Ezekiel. Unleavened bread was Genesis and Exodus. And wheat was Ezra and Deuteronomy. This brings us to fish. Seafood was another staple in the Bible. However, only certain fish and other seafoods were suitable for eating. According to Leviticus chapter 11, verse 9, it says edible seafoods had to have fins and scales. Now, shellfish was prohibited. Today, we know that fish such as tuna, salmon, cod, red snapper, and many others are high in protein and healthy omega fats, which can help reduce inflammation, lower blood pressure, and provide many other health benefits. In Matthew 15:36, it tells us, "Then he took the 7 loaves and the fish, thanked God for them, and broke them into pieces, and gave them to the disciples, who distributed the food to the crowd." And in John 21:11 through 13, it says, "So Simon Peter went abroad and dragged the net to shore, and there were 153 large fish, and yet the net hadn't torn." Now let's look at the fowl. These birds were considered clean and suitable for eating in the Bible. The fowl that is listed contained partridge in 1 Samuel and Jeremiah, pigeon in Genesis and Leviticus, quail in Psalms, and dove in Leviticus. Next is the animal meats. According to the book of Leviticus, clean meats are those from animals that have a cloven hoof and that chew their cud. Now, the Jewish dietary laws taught God's people not to eat the blood of the animals or any meat that has been sacrificed to idols. Here's a list of the animal meats. The calf was listed in Proverbs and Luke, the goat in Genesis, lamb in 2 Samuel, oxen in 1 Kings, sheep in Deuteronomy, and venison was in Genesis. Next is dairy. Fresh, raw products from grass-fed cows, sheep, and goats provided the dairy portion of the biblical diet. Out of these, they made things like butter, you see in Proverbs, cheese, 2 Samuel and Job, curds, Isaiah, milk in Exodus, Job, and Judges. Now we'll talk a little bit about the miscellaneous foods in the Bible. Many of these foods, such as the raw honey, contain disease-fighting and energy-boosting nutrients, allergy defense builders, and probiotic support. Here are some of the miscellaneous foods. Eggs are listed in Job and Luke. Grape juice is in Numbers. Raw honey, Exodus, Deuteronomy, and Judges. Olive oil is in Ezra and Deuteronomy. Vinegar is in Ruth and John. Wine is in Ezra and John. Now, the last category is the unusual and supernatural foods in the Bible. They're listed here. Now, there's fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life, and they're mentioned in Genesis. There's manna, it's mentioned in Exodus. There's gold dust in Exodus. Human flesh, that's in Deuteronomy. Miraculous bread and water in the desert is in Genesis and Numbers. Two-sided scroll of Lamentations, Ezekiel. Bread baked over human excrement is in Ezekiel. Angel cakes is in 1 Kings. Animal diet of grass is in Daniel. Bread and meat from ravens is in 1 Kings. Miraculous flour and oil is in 1 Kings and 2 Kings. Locusts we see in Mark. And miraculous fish and loaves of bread are in 2 Kings, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Now that gives us an idea of what a diet from the Bible would look like. Let's take a quick look at some of the benefits of eating healthier. Today we're going to take a look at 6 of the benefits of eating leaner and cleaner with homemade foods. The first thing we see is it's going to save us money. Eating homemade foods usually a lot less expensive than eating out at a restaurant or buying through a fast food. When we eat out at a restaurant, we're paying for not only the food, but for the cost of running the business too. They charge to pay for the lights, the water, the building, the staff, in addition to the meal that we're eating. The same's true with pre-made or frozen meals you get in the grocery stores. Here are some suggestions to save you money on food every month. Plan for several days of meals. We'll be less likely to be tempted to eat out if something's already pre-made. If we take a little time and forethought to have a plan or something already made up, make a grocery list and stick to it to avoid buying extra food and spending that extra money. Save your leftovers in the refrigerator or freezer, and once you get a stock of leftovers stored, you can reheat them at a later date when you don't have that time to cook. The second great benefit is it saves you time. Now, it might seem like grabbing something to eat at a local supermarket or driving to a quick takeout at the closest restaurant might be a quick solution when you're in a hurry, but in reality, many times it can be much faster to cook something at home, especially when you plan ahead. There are so many meals that can be made in less than 30 minutes, and if you choose a more time-consuming recipe, you can always cook it in bulk and save the extra to eat at a later day in the week or to freeze for that day when you don't feel like cooking or have unexpected company show up and need something quick. The third benefit is the healthier ingredients. So many of the commercially prepared foods are high in fat, salt, and sugar. So when you prepare your own food, we know exactly which ingredients and how much of each are going into our food. That is the great thing. When we cook at home, we are in control. Did you know that McDonald's French fries have 19 ingredients in them? We can make them at home with 3: potatoes, salt, and olive oil. And they taste great. A favorite at our house is to cut potatoes into wedges, put on the olive oil, place them in a preheated oven at 400 degrees for 30 minutes, and when they're nice and golden brown, bring them out and put salt on them. They're great. Now, you need to avoid, this is the fourth great benefit you get, is you get to avoid allergies and sensitivities. If this is a problem in your family, preparing your food at home can be especially beneficial because you are in control of your own kitchen and you can reduce the risk of an allergic reaction. The fifth great benefit is portion control because so many restaurants and fast food places offer portions that are much larger than are necessary or even recommended. And the problem is, when the food's in front of you, the chances are you're going to eat it. Now, when you dine in, you can regulate the amount of food served for dinner, eliminating the unnecessary temptation. And the sixth point is it brings families together. Another great benefit for eating at home is it gives the entire family time to talk about their day. Did you know that studies show that when we eat together, our kids and family are much healthier? Eating together is linked to less obesity, kids doing better in school, and less substance abuse within the family. It gives accountability for everyone to be a part of the family. Involving your children in food preparation, maybe by asking them to read the recipe out loud or mixing the ingredients, is a fun thing to do, but also a great way to teach them healthy eating habits young. Now let's look at the blood type diet. On this diet, what you can eat depends on your individual blood type. The first one we're going to look at is blood type O. This blood type can be referred to as the hunter. They're meat eaters. They have hardy digestive tracts, overactive immune systems. They're intolerant to dietary and environmental adaptations. Responds best to stress with intense physical activity and requires an efficient metabolism to stay lean and energetic. A high protein diet, heavy on lean meat, poultry, fish, and vegetables, and light on grains, beans, and dairy. It's also recommended to use various supplements to help with the tummy troubles and other issues that people with type O tend to have. Now, depending on your personal goals and likes, here are a few guides. Foods that encourage weight gain would be wheat and corn. This is because they interfere with insulin efficiency and they slow the metabolic rate. Kidney beans And navy beans, they're going to impair calorie utilization. Lentils inhibit proper nutrient metabolism. Cabbage, Brussels sprout, cauliflower, and mustard greens all inhibit thyroid production. Foods that encourage weight loss would be kelp, seafood, and iodized salt because they all contain iodine, and this increases thyroid hormone production. Liver has B vitamins. It's a good source and aids in efficient metabolism. Red meats, kale, spinach, and broccoli aid in efficient metabolism. And here's an idea of a meal plan for type O. Breakfast might be 2 slices of toasted Ezekiel bread with butter or an organic nut butter. If you're trying to lose weight, though, have 1 slice of Ezekiel bread with all-natural, low-sugar jam. And then you can have 6 ounces of vegetable juice, a banana, and green or herbal tea. For lunch, organic roasted beef, about 6 ounces. If you want to control your weight, cut it down to between 2 and 4 ounces. Have a spinach salad, apple or pineapple slices, water or seltzer. Now for your mid-after snack, you can have a slice of quinoa applesauce cake. Unless you're trying to control your weight, use sliced carrot and celery sticks and sliced fruits rice cake with a drizzle of honey. Green tea or herbal tea to top it off. Dinner might be lamb asparagus stew, steamed broccoli, sweet potato, mixed fresh fruit, berries, kiwi, grapes, peaches, and maybe some seltzer or herb tea. Beer and wine is even allowed. Now, if you're trying to control your weight, substitute the sweet potato for steamed artichoke with lemon and avoid the beer and wine. Now, type A blood, they're the cultivators. They're the first vegetarians. They reap what they sow. They have sensitive digestive tracts. They have tolerant immune systems. They adapt well to settled dietary and environmental conditions. Responds best to stress with calming actions. Requires Algarian diet to stay lean and productive. A meat-free diet based on fruits and vegetables, beans and legumes, and whole grains, ideally organic and fresh because, again, people with type A blood are known to have sensitive immune systems. The cultivator, or type A, is a meat-free diet based on fruits and vegetables, beans and legumes, and whole grains, ideally organic and fresh, again, because people with type blood are known to have sensitive immune systems. Now, foods that encourage weight gain would be meats because they digest poorly and they're stored as fat and they increase digestive toxins. And dairy foods because they inhibit the nutrient metabolism and this increases mucus secretions. Kidney beans and lima beans interfere with the digestive enzymes and slow the metabolic rate. Wheat in overabundance inhibits insulin efficiency and impairs calorie utilization. Now, foods that encourage weight loss for type A would be vegetable oils. They aid in digestive and they also prevent fluid retention. Soy foods aid in efficient digestion and metabolize quickly, and they optimize your immune function. Vegetables aid efficient metabolism and increase intestinal mobility. And pineapple increases calorie utilization and increases intestinal mobility. Here's an idea of a meal plan for type A. Breakfast might be water with lemon juice first thing when they wake up, oatmeal with soy milk and maple syrup or molasses. If you're trying to control your weight, you might choose oatmeal. Instead of the oatmeal, have cornflakes with soy milk and blueberries. Then we can have grapefruit juice, coffee, or herb tea. For lunch, you might have a Greek salad. That's chopped lettuce, celery, green onions, cucumber, with a sprinkling of feta cheese and lemon and fresh mint. Then you can have apple, 1 slice of sprouted wheat bread and herbal tea. Your mid-afternoon snack might be 2 rice cakes with peanut butter. If you're going to lose weight, though, 2 rice cakes with a little bit of honey, 2 plums, and green tea or water. Now for dinner, maybe tofu pesto lasagna. For weight loss, though, maybe tofu stir fry with green beans, leeks, snow peas, and alfalfa sprouts. Then you have some broccoli, some frozen yogurt, and then some coffee or herb tea or red wine if you desire. Now the blood type B is the nomad. That's the next one we're talking about. The nomad is balanced, strong, tolerant, digestive system. They're the most flexible dietary choices. They're dairy eaters, and they respond best to stress with creativity. They require a balance between physical and mental activity to stay lean and sharp. They need to avoid corn, wheat, buckwheat, lentils, tomatoes, peanuts, and sesame seeds. Chicken is also problematic. Blood type B people should be encouraged to eat green vegetables, eggs, certain green meats, and low-fat dairy. For blood type B, here's a list of the foods that encourage weight gain. Corn, because it inhibits insulin efficiency and it hampers your metabolic rate, and this causes hypoglycemia. Lentils, it inhibits proper nutrient uptake and it hampers metabolic efficiency, and this again causes hypoglycemia. Peanuts, they hamper your metabolic efficiency, causing hypoglycemia, and they also inhibit liver function. Sesame seeds hamper metabolic efficiency, causing hypoglycemia. Buckwheat inhibits digestion, hampers metabolic efficiency, yes, causing hypoglycemia. And wheat slows down the digestive and metabolic process, causes food to be stored as fat, not burned as energy, inhibits insulin efficiency. Now, foods that would encourage weight loss for type B would be green vegetables, meat, liver, eggs, low-fat dairy products. They all aid in efficient metabolism. Licorice tea counters hypoglycemia, but let me give you a caution here. Never take licorice supplements without a doctor's supervision. Again, never take licorice supplements without a doctor's supervision. But licorice tea is okay, so you can have some licorice tea here. Here's an idea of a meal plan for type B. Breakfast might be 2 slices of Ezekiel bread with yogurt, herb, cheese. Weight control, 1 slice of Ezekiel bread. Then you can have a poached egg, green tea would top it off. And for lunch, a Greek salad, lettuce, cucumber, scallions, celery, feta cheese, oil, and lemon, with a banana and some herb tea. Mid-afternoon snack might be quinoa applesauce cake. Unless you're trying to control your weight, you'll use a scoop of low-fat cottage cheese with some pear slices, and then have some herb tea. And then for dinner, lamb asparagus stew. Unless you're controlling your weight, you'll have broiled lamb chops. Saffron brown rice, or to control your weight, have asparagus, some steamed vegetables like broccoli, Chinese cabbage, etc., frozen yogurt, and wine if desired. Now the last of our 4 blood types are the AB blood type. This one's the enigma. This is a modern merging of A and B. It's the chameleon's response to the changing environmental and dietary conditions. They have sensitive digestive tracts, and they're overly tolerant immune systems. Responds best to stress spiritually with physical and creative energy. An evolutionary mystery. Foods to focus on include tofu, seafood, dairy, and green vegetables. Type AB blood tend to have low stomach acids, so avoid caffeine, alcohol, and smoked or cured meats. Foods that encourage weight gain in ABs are red meats because they poorly digest and they store as fat and they toxify the intestinal tract. Kidney beans and lima beans inhibit insulation efficiency, causing hypoglycemia and slow metabolic rate. Seeds cause hypoglycemia. Corn inhibits insulation efficiency. Buckwheat causes hypoglycemia. And wheat decreases your metabolism, causing inefficient use of calories that inhibits your insulin efficiency. Now, foods that encourage weight loss would be tofu, because this promotes your metabolic efficiency, and seafood promotes your metabolic efficiency. Dairy improves your insulin production. Leafy vegetables improve your metabolic efficiency. Kelp improves your insulin production, and pineapple aids in digestion and stimulates your intestinal mobility. Here's an idea of the meal plan for type AB. Breakfast would be something like water and lemon when you first get up, 8 ounces of distilled grapefruit juice, 2 slices of Ezekiel bread, or 1 if you're controlling your weight, yogurt, herb, cheese, or a poached egg if you're controlling your weight, and some coffee. Lunch might be 4 ounces of sliced turkey breast, 2 slices of rye bread, unless you're controlling your weight, make it 1. Caesar salad, or if you're controlling your weight, make it 2 rye crisp. Then 2 plums, rounding it off with some herbal tea. Mid-afternoon snack might be tofu cheesecake, or to control your weight, a half a cup of low-fat yogurt with some fruit and some iced herbal tea. Dinner might be tofu omelet, stir-fried vegetables, mixed fruit salad, decaffeinated coffee, and even red wine if desired. Now that's a brief overview of the 4 blood types and what's recommended for each one to maintain a healthy life. Here's the list, a little more information about using the diets as medicine in your body. To do this right, you need to make plans and stick to them. Now your level of effort is going to be high, because if you don't already know your blood type, the first thing you're going to need to do is find it out. And the results are going to determine exactly what you're going to do next. It's going to determine your limitations. You might need to severely restrict your food eating, your cooking, and your shopping. Your blood type is going to determine your shopping list and your choices when you're eating out. Now, I hope this has been informative to you and helpful. Please bless us by subscribing, liking, and sharing. And until next time, God bless you. This is Coach Vicky. Aloha.